Oi, oi, mate.
Oh, mate. Good to see you again.
It's good to see you again. First of all,
cheers, mate.
cheers, mate. It's finally time to talk about the most popular part of Australia, the East Coast.
The East Coast.
It's the one that everyone does, and I feel like it's worth mentioning a few places that not everyone goes to.
Yeah.
So,
let's start with the basics. How much time you should spend on the East Coast?
this is an unethical question. Like, honestly, it's hard. I would suggest, like, a lot of people would say you can do it in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You definitely are able to do it within 3 weeks, but I would suggest take at least 4. To spend a little bit of time somewhere, nice places. So.
But when we talk about the East Coast, where do we start? We should start from Melbourne until
Cairns.
Cairns.
And then a possibility to go up to Cape York, depending if you have a suitable 4x4.
Yes.
Because you're not gonna do Cairns to Cape York with a Honda Santa FE, whatever. You need a Land Cruiser. You need a cruiser.
Yeah.
So, and then not everyone can afford that. So yeah, we're gonna take that out a little bit of a different part.
Yeah.
But 4 weeks, 5 weeks would be great. Taking your time always is good.
Yeah.
I would suggest doing it in European winter. So if you would start, for example, in January, February, in Melbourne and go up. When you go up, you will arrive in the right weather conditions. You could leave a little bit later than January, but that would be perfect. And then money wise, it's East Coast is the East Coast. I mean, it's gonna be touristy. It's gonna be commercial. It's gonna be maybe a little bit more expensive than than anywhere else in Australia, but otherwise it's fairly normal, and it's gonna set you back a little bit of money with.
This is always, and we always mention this in the other videos, it is hard to answer because
Definitely.
it always depends. How do you travel? Do you have your own car?
Yeah.
What type of car? How many national parks are you visiting? What type of tourist attraction are you going for?
Definitely.
Entry fees, so many factors which are
if you sum up everything, like let's say you would want to do Melbourne to Cairns in 4 weeks with the Greyhound bus, for example.
Yeah.
And if you include the bus and then all the tickets to all of the national parks, and if you include a skydive and a snorkeling day away, I think you're gonna look at $4,000.
Yeah.
I think it's quickly for a month, so about €3,000. I think you're gonna spend that because entering all of those touristy places is gonna be pretty expensive, but 100% worth it. So. I would suggest it's a little bit higher than normally in a month of traveling. But that's an intense month of travel though.
Yeah.
You do the East Coast in one go, it's going to be intense. You're going to be wrecked by the time you get into Cairns. Yeah.
We did also a video talking about generally spending money in Australia.
Yeah, definitely.
We put the link somewhere here. Check it out. Like I said, it's a general approach on to get you an idea on what you have to think about when going to Australia.
Yeah, definitely.
Next question is, where should I spend most of the time? And then on the East Coast, this is quite difficult to answer.
Yeah, because there's a lot of highlights in very different ways.
Yes. But to give a rough idea, maybe you should spend some more time between Melbourne and Sydney. There is a mountain range called or a mountain called Mount Kosciuszko.
Mount Cozy.
Mount Cozy.
Yeah, Mount Cozy.
It's a very nice area.
Definitely.
And between Brisbane and Cairns,
there
are also a lot of places where I would say you should focus on that area if you want to spend some time.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely highlights to pick out if you would spend some time somewhere. I think it's very, very different for everyone. I would suggest you spend a little bit more time in Byron Bay. I think Byron Bay is amazing. And I mean, Melbourne is just an obvious one to spend a lot of time because it's it's the best city in the world, really. And if I would take out another spot, for me it would be Fitzroy Island.
Mm-hmm.
We will cover that in a bit.
Yeah.
For me, that's one of the most pretty islands I've ever been to. But I think if you ask anyone, they will all come up with very different answers. So covering the East Coast is going to be a little bit harder.
Yeah. So
well, let's dive right into the first one.
Dive right into it. Starting from Melbourne,
wow.
You can arrive at, I don't know how to pronounce it, Wilson's Promontory.
Yeah, Wilson's Promontory. Yeah, it's a national park, pretty close to Melbourne. Not a lot of people go there, but it's actually one of the easiest ways in Australia to spot. What are they called again? Wombats.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, after a little bit of searching, we found the word. It's wombat.
Wombat.
And it's probably the easiest place in Australia to spot wombats. They're pretty rare animals, so definitely worth a visit.
Yeah.
And then moving on from Wilson's Promontory,
you're probably gonna drive up to Mount Kosciuszko.
Yeah.
Mount Kosciuszko, and in between there is a beach or like a long area which is called 90 Mile Beach.
It's probably a 90 Mile Beach.
It's probably about 90 miles long.
Yeah. It's a good spot to camp.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
and then,
spot to camp.
The area around Mount Kosciuszko is also very cool to wild camp and stuff.
Yes.
But Mount Kosci is not done by much, but by many backpackers.
Yeah.
But definitely, I thought it was one of the coolest things I've done in Australia.
Yeah.
Mount Kosci definitely worth it. On the bottom, you're hiking in shorts and t-shirt. On top, you're walking in the snow. So it's super unique.
Yeah.
And so especially to be in the snow in Australia, it's a unique experience.
And it's diverse. There's something for people who want to go for a long hike, or you can go for a shortcut and what is it called? You can go up with a lift.
Yeah, you can go with a lift.
That takes you almost to the top, and from there you can walk like I think it was about 2 hours when I did it.
Yeah, definitely.
Going to the very top.
Yep.
And enjoy the scenery. It's a beautiful lookout.
Definitely, Mount Kosci is a big one. And for moving from Mount Kosci towards Sydney, we have one more stop, right?
We have another stop, and it's called Figure 8 Pools.
Figure 8 Pools.
Image picture.
Yeah, I mean Figure 8 Pools. Yeah.
I can't exactly describe it, but you have to be if you wanna see Figure 8 pools, you have to be there at a certain times because of the
tide.
The tide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something for people to figure out themselves.
You have to look it up on the website. What is the best time to be there to so it's accessible for you. But definitely worth it to have a look there.
Definitely.
Yeah. If we continue from Figure 8 Pools, the Blue Mountains, which is right next, which is a bit west of Sydney.
Yeah, moving on from Mount Kosci towards Sydney is probably the most famous national park of Australia.
Yeah.
It's Blue Mountains. Honestly, it's pretty, but it's gonna be absolutely filled with tourists and especially Asians. No, we're gonna take that out. It's gonna be filled with tourists, especially old people in buses, and you know they're not even looking at the scenery, just taking pictures. If you want to see the Blue Mountains on its most beautiful part, like go and hike through it, like do a 2-day hike, whatever, and then see the real beauty of it. If you go into all the parts that are accessible by car, it's not gonna be that great. You're gonna be annoyed by all the people that are gonna be there, which is I think this is something to cover for the whole East Coast. If you stay on parts where it's too accessible, it's gonna be tourists everywhere.
Yeah.
So try and go as you know off road as you can go, and maybe go off the beaten tracks a little bit. Moving on from the Blue Mountains, we're gonna end up in a very unique place, Sydney. I'm not always sure what to say about it. It was not that I didn't like Sydney, but it's definitely not my city. It's not like I'm not a huge Sydney fan.
I think in Sydney I spent 2 or 3 days before I went on the next road trip.
Couple of
Definitely worth to see.
I mean, Opera House, the bridge and stuff.
It depends on where you start your journey. If Sydney is the first city you see when you arrive in Australia, it's going to be cool.
Yeah,
but if you come from the west,
nah.
it's going to be a different first impression if you arrive.
Definitely.
Yeah,
But Sydney, definitely worth traveling around. if I would suggest a part of Sydney, travel the northern beaches. So it's the area of Collaroy, very pretty. It's a suburb of Sydney. It's a couple of hours away. It's very pretty, and I would probably take that as a better suggestion.
Yeah.
And then moving on from Sydney into a place where I would suggest you spend a little bit more time, Byron Bay. Byron Bay, well known for all of their hippies. It's a super unique place with people that are playing the guitar everywhere and sitting on mats outside, and it's a super unique location. They have some really cool hostels. For me, Arch Factory was one of the greatest hostel experiences I've ever been through, and I would really recommend that to anyone. But I've also heard there's many other good ones. I think Aquarius is really good as well in Byron Bay, and there's more of them. But yeah, Byron Bay, great place to go.
Yeah.
And then coming from Byron Bay,
I have one place to add. If you're coming from Byron Bay, you can drive more into the west. I think it's a 2-3 hour drive, and there's a national park called Girraween National Park. And I think it's a nice park because you have many strange rock formations there. We can blend in some pictures. It is a place you don't come across very often.
Sick.
Yeah.
I've not been there, so it sounds good though. I'm actually curious to see the pictures. So I'll see it in a bit. And then, so if we're leaving from there, going back up, a little bit more west of Byron Bay, we're gonna move on to Surfers Paradise. Surfers Paradise is a very unique place. Both positive and negative. It's one of those like Magaluf, Mallorca sort of feeling. There's a lot of tourists, a lot of young people, a lot of drinking, but it's a super odd place to be because it's super sunny most of the time because you're moving up to the Sunshine Coast. There's always good weather there.
Yeah.
Massive tall buildings right on the edge of the beach. Good surf there. I mean, Surfers Paradise. What can you expect? Just a fun place to go out for a night, I guess. And yeah, definitely a good suggestion. And then moving on from the Sunshine, for the Gold Coast, you're gonna go to Brisbane. I've actually lived for a couple of months in Brisbane. Very, very pretty to be in. It's super unique place. I've heard that most people don't see Brisbane the way I see it. So maybe it was just me, but I really like Brisbane. After Brisbane, you're gonna end up in the Sunshine Coast. Also a unique part of Australia. Nice and sunny, a lot of small beaches. You can have a beach for your own if you want to. And then I think you're gonna cross the border to Queensland around that area. And moving up from Surfers Paradise, we're gonna end up in Airlie Beach. Airlie Beach is well known for the place where you would go to the Whitsundays. I don't think I have to cover the loading of Whitsundays. I think everyone knows it. Find yourself the perfect boat to go with. There's many different options to go. I don't remember which one I did. I think it was the broomstick or whatever, one of something, but it was great. White sand, blue ocean, a lot of drinking. Perfect. Moving from Airlie Beach up to Townsville. Townsville is another big city. Not too much going around, but from Townsville you can take the ferry to Waarom? Why? Moving up from Airlie Beach, you can go to Townsville. From Townsville, you take the ferry to Magnetic Island. Magnetic Island is just that's a super cool place. I liked Magnetic Island. I have a friend that lived there for a little while, and definitely worth going. Super good looking island. So moving on from the Whitsundays, you're gonna go up towards Cairns. And you could definitely choose to make another stop before Cairns with Mission Beach. Mission Beach is a spot in Australia where you can do your skydive and land on the beach. Really unique place. I don't think I have to explain more than that. But it's if I would make a suggestion where to do your skydive, do it in Mission Beach. Sick spot.
Yeah.
Then Cairns. Cairns is just a weird little town. Super lovely to be in for a little while.
What is weird about it?
It's weird because it feels like an airport. There's always people coming and going. It's like the end of Australia, the northern end. Because coming from Cairns towards the north, there's really the only things you can go is towards Cape York or Cape Tribulation, or you go to the sea, and see the Great Barrier Reef. I would suggest go to Fitzroy Island, probably the best spot to see the reef. You can definitely do an outer reef tour, but honestly, the Great Barrier Reef isn't as nice as it was before. And I did an outer reef tour, and
climate change.
Yeah, climate change, man. If you don't believe in climate change, go and take a outer reef tour in the Great Barrier Reef, and yeah, you will see just bleached corals, and you will believe it. And Trump is probably wrong. But then coming to Cairns and on the way up, you have Cape Tribulation, Port Douglas. It's a rainforest, super unique area of the north of Australia, and that would be my end with a normal car or bus. If you have a really suitable 4x4, you can take the trip up to Cape York.
Cape York.
But that's a trip. I mean, doing Cape York is a whole dedication. I know a mate who did it, and I think it took him 3 weeks to get back and forth to Cairns. So it's a pretty intense trip. It's going to be very, very intense 4x4ing, and only suitable for people that are really willing to risk all of that.
You need to be properly.
You have to be done. Have to have some experience to do that. But otherwise, I think that sums up our East Coast trip.
Yeah.
So far.
If you have any questions, anything to add, or just like the video,
That's it.
let us know in the comments below. And yeah, like you said, this is the end of the video. What is, just to give a quick view on the next one, what we're going to talk about next in the next episode?
We're going to dive into the Red Centre.
We're going to dive into the Red Centre from, I think, Adelaide. Yeah, from Adelaide to Darwin.
The longest route we have, and probably the most unique one.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like the Red Centre in the entire world.
Yeah.
It's like Mars. It's really like that. It's really like Mars.
Yeah.
So if you want to see that video, click down below on the link, or if you wait, then the video will appear after this. We're going to dive right into all of the information about the Red Centre, and that is the last thing we're going to do for this video. I hope you guys liked it, and hope to see you guys in the next video. Is your beer out as well?
No, I'm not out.
Oh, I am.
Oh man, poor boy.
Cheers. Cheers. Thanks.